Hi gang, welcome to Pea Puffer Kingdom. This is episode 17. My name is Rob, and today we're looking at a new Pea Puffer being added to the tank, a new species of fish added to the tank, and how they're getting on. This new puffer was one that was brought from a local fish store, not bred in this tank unfortunately, but she was so cute. When I saw her, I had to have her, and I think when you see her, you'll realise exactly why I had to make the purchase. So this is the Pea Puffer that I have bought. She is so cute. This is her at the actual fish store. Obviously not my tank. And there was another Pea Puffer in here that was a male. So I was looking at it and thinking, which one's a male, which is a female? This one has a really round shape to her, much like the females I have, as opposed to one at the back that already had a bit of a yellowish hue, if you like, to its belly. And I just trust my gut instincts with this one. I just felt she looks so much like a female, even at this early stage, that it seems hard to believe that she would turn into a male eventually. So this is the one that I went for. She's absolutely stunning, so cute, and I couldn't believe my luck when I finally saw one that looks like a female. It's so rare to see a young baby that looks like a female, so I got it. Obviously there's another fish as well that I bought, as I mentioned, so we'll show that one right away. This is the little pea in the bag before going into the tank. She's so adorable. The size of her compared to the others, even though, you know, these are Pea Puffer fish, the size between her and adults is incredible. And this is a new fish I got. It's a Bumblebee Goby. I later learned, even though the local fish store owner didn't tell me this, that I don't know if this is the species that is, but there's one that's very similar to this, or this one, that is known to be brackish, but has done well in freshwater. So if anyone has any information on Bumblebee Gobies that's kept them in freshwater, in particular whether they're good in freshwater, that'd be great. So you can see here the adult Pea Puffers in the tank whilst the new one is in the bag. They're very curious. There's a point where they were all looking inside the bag trying to see what the hell's going into their tank. And this is her going into the tank. She's so shy. She's so cute. It's like putting a little kid into the playground with all the older kids. Much bigger than the tank that she was staying in the local fish store, obviously. And she was a bit shy, quite nervous, quite timid, as you'd expect for a fish of that size. And then eventually she got in. As you can see in the centre of the picture there, she's hiding in the leaves. So as soon as she went in, she kind of looked a bit stunned, a bit shocked, and went straight for these leaves at the front of the tank, as well as ones that are at the back, looking for safety, looking for somewhere where she could feel secure. And you can see her little tiny beady eyes looking around thinking, where the hell am I? Well, this place is huge. And it is to her. You look at these guys who have been in here for a while. They're much, much bigger than her, even though they are, as I said, only Pea Puffer fish. The difference in size is pretty obvious once you see them side by side. And for quite a long time, she stayed in these leaves. For the first, I think it was 48 hours she stayed like this in the leaves. She'd come out to get a few little worms, tubifex worms. I thought she was too big to get the bloodworms, but she did. This is her coming around to the front of the tank. Now you start to see the size difference between adults and the baby ones. I mean, this isn't a newly born pufferfish, but I would presume she's probably about a month old, maybe 2 months old at this point. I think it's really good to see the comparison as well, because so many people say, well, how big do they get? They don't get big at all, hence the name. But they clearly do grow a lot from birth to adult. This is her gaining a bit more confidence, looking around a tank for snails, looking under the spiderwood. There you can see the size is quite epically different between these guys. She's so cute. Seeing her up against the adults is amazing. There are two females there, kind of shrugging each other away. Quite unusual to see that, actually. It's usually the males that do that. The females generally get on really well. That's Buddy. So that's all the 4 females I have in the tank now in frame. I had 3, but I wanted to get another female, but I had to wait for ages because it's so hard to find one that looks like a female at a young age. But she looked every millimetre a female, so I feel like it's a pretty safe bet. If I have to eat my own words and take her back, then unfortunately I may have to do that, but I'm pretty certain that that's a female. Doesn't have any signs of the yellow hue underneath the belly like the other one did in the tank that I bought it from. And she has exactly the same body shape as BFP, Big Friendly Puffer, Buddy and Grace. So I'm so certain this is a female. She's so cute. Zoom in there, definition goes a little bit on this. But yeah, you can see the size of the adults. And that male to the left, that's Scar. And he's not even the biggest male there, but he looks so much bigger than her. And she's just kind of lost in this huge kingdom for something that size. But she's pretty brave. She's hanging out with the other guys within the first sort of 24, 48 hours here and there, in intervals when she feels brave. This is her at feeding time. So the guys have had tube effects worms. This is about 48 hours in. So she got pretty brave pretty quick. And as you can see, that is Grace picking at the worms and BFP behind her. And it's at this point I can tell you what the new Pea Puffer's name is. My girlfriend named her, and her name is Hermia. So you might know that name, Hermia, from a pretty big film. This is Hermia. She is small but mighty, or something like that in the film, they say. I don't know. That's why my girlfriend called her Hermia, because she is small but mighty, and she is. She's waited at this point. Again, this has been about 48-hour period of having her. All the adults have had their food, and they're quite full, starting to be a bit more low energy, cruising around the tank. And this is her time to come out of the leaves and go and get some worms. Looking a bit nervous, wondering if they're going to come back. And this is another feeding where she was kind of hanging back from going towards the worms. I was hoping she would be a bit more confident at this point, 3 days in. But she's quite nervous still. Yeah, you can see her kind of moving away and looking for worms. I think she may have just picked one off there. But she's too nervous to get stuck into the pea pack and get her food herself, because this is a whole new world to her, obviously. And it's quite intimidating. But she's a brave one. So this is night 3, and she's looking for worms. I believe at this point they were just out of shot. She's managed to find one there that's drifted away from the group of tube effects worms. And that is Tinsy Strider coming to shot there. There goes Edward just above her. She's getting a lot more brave now. And you can see next to that tiny little white pebble, she's almost the same size as it. So cute. And yet at this point she's getting a lot more brave, and she's kind of exploring more of the tank, going places that she hadn't done the first couple of days, getting a bit more interested in things and realising that the bigger puffers in here really aren't interested in her. And I think to touch upon, adding a new pea puffer to the tank, I think it really just depends on the temperament of your puffers. If they tend to be friendly with what's already in the tank, adding a new pea puffer, if you've got enough, foliage, leaves, plants, wood, things that are going to block their line of sight, places for them to hide, then you've got a good chance of them settling in. I think if you've got maybe 2 or 3 puffers, then it's going to be trickier. But in this tank, I had 8 pea puffers. I've now got 9 with Hermia in here. And apart from the odd spat, which doesn't really amount to anything, they get on really well. So I didn't have too much worry really putting her in here, because I know from adding new fish in here that she would do great. And this is her exploring the tank further. This is her into more the right-hand side of the tank, which she was too intimidated to go to early on in the first couple of days or so. And again, looking for snails. Her instincts are already there. She knows to check every millimetre of the tank. And this is Buzz, the Bumblebee Goby, for obvious reasons, called Buzz. Really adorable fish. I kept one years ago, but back before I knew that they needed a heated tank, which was really stupid when I was about 15. So many years on, I've now got this cutie in a tank. Really, really great addition to the tank. The puffers don't pay any attention to it at all. I think when he first went in, or she, don't judge. He or she, I'll call it he, it's easier, isn't it? And he was kind of floating around the tank, mooching around. They really didn't pay any bother to him whatsoever. And he's a great addition to the tank. I think if you've got a decent sized tank, or even if you've got a smaller one, Bumblebee Gobies are such brilliant fish. They kind of float in midair sometimes, and you can see them perching on the wood here. He's in the leaves, he's in this new moss that I bought. He goes everywhere. He explores, he sticks to the glass. 1 minute he's on the front of the tank glass, the next minute he's scooting around the floor looking for worms. Really great addition to the tank. This is them all eating bloodworms. Jesus, as you can see, the females there have got quite a lot of food in their bellies. They eat way more than the males actually, which is really strange. I don't know if that's because that's them preparing for babies. I know Grace has got a lump in her stomach, so that's probably as it was before her laying eggs, which I will do in another video. This is Hermia having a go at the worms. I think this is night 5 now. Again, all the females all together. They've got a bit of a sorority going on here. The females hang together, the males tend to do their own thing. Maybe have the odd spat here and there over the women and territories, things like that. And this little cutie here is indeed... Get that focused in. This is Hermia now. She is so cute. It's ridiculous in this tank. Aren't you? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. So cute. You can see there, she looks a little bit bigger now, actually. She's been in here for, I think, about 2 weeks now. And she's unbelievably cute and interesting to watch in this tank, zipping around, exploring. She's doing really, really well. She looks healthy. I put in Praxi Pro into the tank so that she would get dewormed as well as everyone else. I think it's good to deworm your puffers pretty regularly. That way you get everyone healthy in one go. And if you're going to bring in a new Pea Puffer, you may as well do it all at the same time. I'm sure some people will disagree with that, but that's my take on it anyway. So something else I wanted to touch on here is my bamboo shrimp. If anyone knows anything about bamboo shrimps, please do get in touch and comment below about how to get them to feed from the top of the tank, because the flow at the top is pretty fast, but he has no interest, it seems, in going up there looking for food that could be in the water column. So I'm not sure how to encourage him to go up there. I've put in tablets, algae tablets, broken them up and put them in, spread, and hopefully bits come around. But it doesn't seem to be happening at the moment, so any advice on that, please do let me know. So thank you guys for joining me on this episode. I hope you found this useful and interesting and entertaining. This one obviously is more about Hermia coming into the tank and Buzz coming into the tank. Next episode is going to be more sort of informative. As you can see, the guys are getting on with their evening today. The bamboo shrimp combing the ground for food. Yeah, if you've got any comments about the bamboo shrimp that can help get it up into the water column feeding, that'd be amazing. So I'm looking to see if I can get this one doing what it should be doing naturally. And yeah, thank you for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it, and I will see you next month.